You're listening to the ESO Network, your station for all things geek.
Hey there. Welcome to episode 298 of the Soul Forge podcast.
Welcome to the Soul Forge, a place of silent mystery, quiet contemplation, and outright mayhem. Join your host, Sean Vanderloo, as he guides you through the adventures of living. Together, we'll talk about life and love, sex and dating, joy and heartache, memories and loss, and so much more. Don't worry, it's not nearly as pretentious as it sounds. Get ready for life, the universe, and everything on the Soul Forge.
Hey everybody, welcome to the show. I'm your host, Sean, and this week is a solo episode. No guest hosts, no excitement and adventure with somebody new or somebody on repeat. Not a repeat episode. This is brand new. I hope you're excited. Okay, so 298. We just had our 6th year anniversary there a couple weeks back, 2 weeks ago. Coming up in 2 episodes is the 300th episode. So that is very exciting. I solicit you, I implore you, I beg you, I ask you to send me in comments, questions, concerns, emotional outbursts, anything you'd like to discuss or have me read on the air. That would be fantastic. I would like to make episode 300 a spectacular show, and I can only do it with all of your help out there in podcast land. To do such a thing, you can send me an email at soulforgepodcast@gmail.com. Operators are standing by to receive your solicitation. Okay, so what's been going on in my life? Well, this past weekend, I took an impromptu trip up to Timmins to see my son for the weekend because the summer has been going by and we've been trying to get together, but he's had priorities take effect, like playing his video games. Apparently a very important release has come out during the summer and he's been obsessed with playing it, and he hasn't wanted to come here and visit me in Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario, Canada. So what did I do? I got in my car after work last Friday and drove up to Timmins to see him. I stayed with my good pals Heather and Johan in their spare room, and it was a fun visit. I didn't see anybody friend-wise really. I was just there to see my son, and so we went Hot Wheels hunting and walking around and hanging out and chatting. Did not find any Hot Wheels in Timmins. Went to Walmart, went to a grocery store, went to several dollar stores, and there was nothing good. The only things they had were things that I already had here or didn't want. So very sad turn of events. It's been slow on the Hot Wheels front. I know that all of you out there in podcast land have been wondering how my collection has been coming along. I don't know why I paused there. Anyway, how has the collection been coming along? It's sporadic. I found some good things, lots of nothing, lots of old repeats. I have decided to start collecting purple Hot Wheels because purple is my favorite color, so trying to find as many purple cars as I can get. Also, I'm an avid collector of Volkswagen Beetles and El Caminos, so that continues to be my focus. I have found some treasure hunts, but no super treasure hunts. Those are apparently pretty rare, and people sell them for over $100 a piece. So I'm not going to spend $100 or $200 on a car that costs $2 or less. So anyway, I'm just collecting what I collect. They're in totes and on a shelf. I don't really have any room to display them, and I don't know why I continue to collect. It's just I have to collect something, apparently, and that's what I do. I did realize, however, that when I'm depressed, that's when a new obsession starts. I guess collecting Hot Wheels started when things started to go south with Melissa. I got into prepping and preparing for the end of the world when things were going bad with Julie. So that seems to be a common thing that I learned about myself. So that's pretty cool. It's always good to have some self-knowledge and discovery. What have you learned about yourself recently? soulforgepodcast@gmail.com. Otherwise, on the hunt for Hot Wheels, watching some YouTube videos about it. Not obsessively. It's not all I think about. It's just something to focus on while I'm at a store or whatever, you know. Everybody has to have an obsession or a vice, and that seems to be mine for the last 6 months or so. And it'll probably tail off eventually, but who can say? So anyway, back to my visit to Timmins. Had some good chats with my boy, and it turns out his mom is thinking about moving to Thunder Bay. And Bishop does not want to move to Thunder Bay because he does not like change. He hates change. So he wants to stay in Timmins. He does not want to come here to Sault Ste. Marie to live with me. He doesn't want to move to Thunder Bay to live with his mom. He's talking about staying with a friend from school on her parents' farm or homestead or something. I'm not 100% sure. It's not a full working farm from what I understand, but there would be chores to do and all that kind of stuff. He hasn't really thought about it too far in advance. He doesn't know what he's going to do for money. He hasn't finished high school. He hasn't done too well there. He kind of just stopped going. So we're working on trying to get him to finish school so he doesn't have a horrible life. He is going to be 18 in December, so he can make his own decisions. His mom does not know when she's moving to Thunder Bay or if that's actually happening. But if it does, he does not want to go. And if there's one thing you can't do is force Bishop to do anything. He is a very stubborn young man. He's a very stubborn young man. He's not a child anymore, I guess. So we talked about that and what he wants to do with his life, and he has no idea. He just knows he hates change, and maybe he'd like to do something with music, like be a music producer, because he doesn't want to get his license. He doesn't want to be a long-haul truck driver. He doesn't want to be a mailman. He doesn't want to work in a call center. He doesn't really care about going to school. He doesn't want to be a teacher. We talked about, 15 or 20 different career options, and he has no idea what he wants to do. You know what? I'm 13 years away from retirement. I still don't know what I want to do either, so I can totally relate to that. So I worry about him and try to talk to him about it. And I just told him that I don't want him to have a miserable life where he's always struggling for money and that kind of stuff. So it would be a good idea if he finished his schooling, at least to get his grade 12, because it's hard to get a job if you don't have your grade 12. And you don't want to be 25 or 30 going back to school. So that's for sure. So is the talk successful or not? I don't know. He's not very communicative. It's like pulling teeth, trying to get information out of him. So we'll see what happens. What else is going to happen is I'm going to play a promo for another podcast right here on the ESO Network.
What you gonna do, brothers and sisters, when thousands of geeky fans descend on Atlanta for 5 days and nights of the grandest con of them all? You can prepare by training, eating your vitamins, saying your prayers, and checking out the Dragon Con report each and every month leading up to the show. Watch or listen and let Dragon Con Mania run wild on you!
And I hope you enjoyed that promo and it inspires you to go listen to all the podcast episodes of whatever show that I played the promo for, because I don't know yet. I haven't edited the thing. What else has been happening? Well, it's been freaking hot and humid around here lately. As you know, I deliver the mail, and I'm melting. It's been in the high 30s. It's gross. For posterity's sake, if you're listening to this 20 years from now, Hawaii just had their wildfires, and it's the worst fire, I think they said, in American history. Currently, there's 106 victims of the fire, but they're expecting that to rise into the hundreds. But that's what it is right now. Former President Donald Trump has been indicted for racketeering in the state of Georgia. So that's what's going on now. He still has to turn himself in at this particular time, I believe. I haven't heard anything since this morning, so I don't know what's going on there. The war in Ukraine is still going on. Russia is the bad apple in this whole scenario, and that's not good. Ukraine is trying to get some missiles from Germany, and that's not happening very well because Germany's afraid that Ukraine could strike up to 500 kilometers inside of Russia or something, and they don't want to do that. So that's very precarious and dangerous. What else am I talking to in the future? Let me think here. Well, as I'm recording this, it's August 16th, and that means 46 years ago today, Elvis Presley died. Unless he didn't, and he just faked his death. But that's a conspiracy theory that I don't know anything about. But he would be, 88 or something like that by now, if he was still alive. Anyway, other than that, I think that's it for the historical updates. Let me see, what else did I want to talk about? We talked about Hot Wheels, we talked about Bishop. Pretty soon I'm going to be recording some episodes of the Epsilon 3 podcast with Paul and Dan. That's our Babylon 5 rewatch podcast. We're almost through season 4 of Babylon 5, so that's exciting. In less than a month, Amanda and Leah and I are heading out to Disney. This will be my first time in Disney. It's something that I've always wanted to do, so that's exciting. I know both of them have been there before, so in mid-September, we are taking a plane down to Georgia for a few days and staying there. And then we're taking the train from Georgia down to Orlando. And then we're going to be at Disney for 2 or 3 days. And that's exciting. Rides, and I guess we're going to some kind of Disney outlet because I guess there's all kinds of older things that didn't sell that get sold for a better price than what you could buy the current stuff for, from what I understand. I don't know too much about it. I know Leah and Amanda are well versed in the Disneyverse. I am not, but I guess I'm going to learn. I have recently purchased a shirt, a button-up shirt, a black shirt with a bunch of Disney characters on it so that I can fit into the park. So that's fun and exciting. Yeah, I guess that's it. When I'm in Georgia, I'm hoping to see Jeremy, because I just got an invitation for Jeremy's wedding, but it's during Canada's Thanksgiving weekend, so I won't be able to go. But it's exciting. He's getting married in a castle. I believe I talked about this on the weddings episode a few weeks back. I'm going to be, I think it's Savannah, Georgia. I'm not sure where he is. I don't know how far that is away from wherever he is, but hopefully we'll be able to meet up. And then when I'm in Orlando, that's where our good buddy Jarman lives. And you know Jarman, he's the one who does the voiceover for the This is the Soul Forge podcast with Sean Vanderloo. It's all about sex and dating. You know, that whole opening spiel? That's Jarman. He just got married back in July. I told him that we're going to be in Orlando and we're going to try to meet up. So that's exciting because I do believe he lives in Orlando or somewhere close to it. So that'll be very good. I don't know. I guess that's really about it. There's nothing too exciting going on right now. It's been pretty low key around here. Haven't traveled much this summer. Just up to Timmins not too long ago, and I guess maybe a month and a half ago, Leah and I went to Saginaw, Michigan, and spent a weekend there, and that was fun. Got some Hot Wheels there too. No Hot Wheels this past weekend. Hopefully there's Hot Wheels in Georgia and in Orlando, but I guess we'll see. I don't know. I know that a few weekends ago we went to Thessalon, which is about an hour from here. It's close to where Leah's dad lives, and he likes Hot Wheels too. And he said, we have to go to the store. So we went to the store, and I picked up a few Hot Wheels, and then I took them back. I showed Leah what I got, and she's like, isn't that a treasure hunt? I'm like, I don't know. I didn't think it was. I just like the look of it. And so I looked at it, and sure enough, it was a treasure hunt. So that was very neat and exciting. I didn't even notice it. She noticed it. She is a good wingman for my hobby. So that is good. Yeah. Other than that, yeah, I wish I had more exciting news. There's nothing really happening. Oh, yes, you know what did happen? I did finally watch the season finale of Star Trek Strange New Worlds, Season 2. I got to watch that, I believe, yesterday, even though it had been out for 5 days. But, you know, I had gone to Timmins to see the boy. So it left on a cliffhanger. Who knows when that's going to come back because of the writer's strike and the actor's strike. But it was a good episode. I think Season 2 wasn't quite as good as Season 1, but it's still pretty great. I think September 7th is when season 4 of Star Trek Lower Decks, the cartoon, comes back, and that'll be another 10 episodes. So that's good. And then season 5 of Star Trek Discovery, the final season, is sometime in 2024. We don't know the exact date yet. And everything is so topsy-turvy and up in the air that you don't know what's happening because of all these strikes, because of climate change, the forest fires, the floods in other parts of the world, the wars, there's the huge coup in Niger, or however you say it. I've heard all kinds of different stuff. So the military coup. Yeah. Oh, that's what we do sometimes. We listen to the news in the morning, and it's never good news. There's all kinds of bad news all the time, and nothing good in the world is happening from what I can understand. Maybe that's not true. Maybe there's all kinds of great stuff, but the news certainly doesn't report it. It's all negative. And I try to live a happy, positive life, and I hope all of you out there in podcast land do as well. So I got to wrap this up because it's almost time to podcast with my boys, but I hope you'll all take care of yourselves and each other. Leave a 5-star review in the iTunes store. I don't think they call it any of that anymore. Whatever podcast app you're listening to, just open it up right now, take out your phone, and just put 5 stars. And that would be awesome. I'd appreciate it. And other than that, take care of yourselves and each other. And remember, we all have or suffer from an inferiority complex, although mine's not all that good. Thank you for listening to another episode of the Soul Forge podcast. Your support is greatly appreciated, and we hope you'll tune in again next time. Remember that you can visit soulforgepodcast.com for all of our social media links, and don't forget to share the show with everyone you know. The Soul Forge podcast is your best source for living your best life.
Think about it.
This has been a broadcast of the ESO Network. Be part of the crew and help support our shows by donating to our ESO Patreon or by shopping at the TeePublic store, which can all be found at www.esonetwork.com. The ESO Network, your station for all things geek.